think there was a question about course load in Australia and was the training adequate? Course load was heavy. It's going to be heavy wherever you go. It's a lot to learn in 4 years, regardless of like where you are in the world. I think actually probably heavier courses are better because you do need to learn the content. Um, and was my training adequate? I would say yes, but if you do want to come back and write the USMLEs and the NAC OSCE and this and the everything like that to get into Canada and the States, you do have to do extra studying on top of that, because those are, focused exams on certain things. There's certain ways of studying for these exams. So that is studying on top of your course load that you have in medical school. But it's possible. And I did write, there's a lot of questions about the timing of writing these exams. I wrote all of the exams in my last year of medical school and including medical school exams. So it's a hard year, but you can do it.
Yeah,
Uh,
there was another question. Can you complete the MCCQ1 and NAC OSCE in the last year, or must you have completed the degree? So just, yeah, most students actually haven't completed the degree yet. So you are doing that MCCQ1 and your NAC OSCE exam and your USMLEs and you choose if you choose to do so in that final year of medical school. Jonna, did you do your step one at the end of second year?
no, I wrote everything in
You
fourth
wrote
year.
everything in fourth year.
Yeah, I wrote step one, step two CK, step two CS, NAC OSCE, and the MCCQE1, all in the matter of like 9 months. And then you don't actually even need to you don't even need to have your degree in order to apply for residency too, because you're actually applying to residency in your last year as well, if you want
Mhm.
to match, immediately afterwards. So you don't need your degree literally until you start residency, the following July. So don't worry about that. You can get everything done in that time.
This one's a good one for you, Sean. When do you recommend to start studying for the exams? So you wrote them all in fourth year. When did you start preparing for those exams and kind of how was that process?
So I am a terrible person to ask because I decided very last minute for myself that I was going to go for it. I was humming and hawing thinking that maybe I wasn't going to do it. So I studied only for a few months ahead of time. The recommendation would be to study for like 6 months ahead of time at least. There is so much content out there on how to study for these exams, it's life changing, especially the USMLEs. So the USMLEs have amazing textbooks out there. That the first aid for the USMLE is an incredible textbook, and then there's also this massive data bank of questions, like thousands of questions that you go through that are integral to being able to pass these steps. And you got to go through it twice in order to kind of do well on these exams. And so whatever you can do with your time and get that stuff done, then you can do it. So like when I study just for a little while ahead of time, I was doing it day in and day out. It would have been a lot smarter if I had started a little bit earlier. But of note, when you study for the USMLEs, you're also studying for the Canadian exams. So the exams that cross over on each other. So when you're studying for the MCCQE1 for Canada, you're also studying for the USMLE Step 2 CK. So a lot of the content crosses over. So that's why it's possible to do all of these exams at once. And not only that, but you're also in medical school. So you're also learning this content in medical school.